Hi, folks. This is Rick Doc Walker, the DOC.
This is John Kime, and you're listening to The Mess Hall with Rally Captain and Tailgate Ted.
What's going on, Rally? How you been, man?
Well, man, we had Thanksgiving. We had Madrid. We had another Sunday night primetime game that ended in a loss, but the general consensus is the fans are happy of how we played. So I guess that wraps it up. So I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, man. So we appreciate you guys real quick, man. It's been almost a month since we've recorded a show. The last one was November 5th, and it is now December 1st. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for reaching out.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Big time. I mean, just rewinding. This is going to be a rewind to a degree for some of our listeners, right? Spain was unreal for a couple of reasons. For me, one of the highlights was meeting so many listeners in Spain, right? And you were busy with your group that you were, taking out there. You had what, 200 plus people?
200 people, yeah.
So you get into as much of that you want to, or a little of that as you want to. I just know that you were busy with all of that, right? And I went to Barcelona first with Mrs. Tailgate and a friend, and I ran into some podcast listeners in Barcelona.
In Barcelona.
Man, it was like the Burgundy and Gold didn't just take over Madrid. We were all over Spain.
Yeah.
And I know like KJ, I think went to Portugal. Like Elizabeth, and he went to Portugal. Like a bunch of people went to like Madagascar. People were just globetrotting all over the place on this trip. And it was so awesome. But I ran into some of our listeners in Barcelona. And then fast forward, I take the train to Madrid from Barcelona, and I organized a meetup with just a bunch of Burgundy Gold. I started a WhatsApp community, and that thing got to over 700 people in it.
Wow.
And we're actually keeping it alive. So for all the road games, we're just going to make different subgroups inside so people can kind of keep in touch. So we'll make sure they get all the info for all the other rallies you got going on. But I think her name was Maggie from Utah. And I apologize if I'm butchering your name, but just ran into so many different listeners saying, are you guys going to do a show in Madrid? When's the next one coming out? And I'm bouncing around, but skipping to last night at the tailgate, I had this gentleman who never actually gave me his name, but I am in the middle of changing clothes because I'm all covered in grease after the tailgate. And I'm literally in the middle of changing. And this guy walks up to me with his two, I'm assuming grandkids, or I don't know what they were, and just says, I missed the mess hall. When's the next one coming out? Right. And a bunch of people have been communicating that. And it's heartwarming because it's a lot of work putting this on, but knowing that you guys are listening and that you're asking for the content, apologies for not getting it to you guys. As Rally just said, we were in Spain, right? We had Thanksgiving. I had a harvest feast that I was helping the Commanders with. You had a bunch of stuff going on your end, and life just kind of got in the way. And then the bye week came, and we didn't get a chance to record something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's called life. But we're going to do better for you guys because, like you, people were asking me and saying, hey, man, you're the guy who's on the other end of the podcast. And it's like, yeah, I'm that other guy. I understand that Ted is the man and I'm just the co-host, so.
Not even close, man. That's why it says co-host. But yeah, I do.
But I can appreciate it, though. But thank you guys for listening once again. It does mean a lot.
Definitely. And we wanted to make sure, we were trying to do something Thanksgiving week, but realistically, we knew you guys were going to be busy with family and everything else, and you all weren't going to hear it. And we got some stuff we want you guys to hear. We got some stuff we want to make sure that we talk about, not necessarily about the on the field product, but some of the off the field stuff. So backtracking to Spain, right? I don't know how many of us were out there, but you missed the team rally because you were taking your trip to Barcelona with your group, right? But you came out, I think it was whatever it was, Thursday night, to the little meetup at the market, and we almost got kicked out of the market because we were being apparently too loud. And hats off to Moises the Spanish broadcaster for the Commanders for helping translate and telling them that we are not unruly. We're not like soccer hooligans that are going to trash this market. To please leave us alone because they were about to call the policia on us and kick us out of the market because we were singing "Hail to the Redskins" in the market, and a bunch of the regulars there were getting all pissed off about it. So I guess they weren't used to
Yeah,
the unruly Americans kind of taking over their spot.
silly Americans singing their fight song.
It was definitely a cool experience, right? And then the next day, you were taking all these people to Barcelona from Madrid. I mean, how in the world did that go? Because you guys had to get there like the butt crack of dawn.
Yeah, so the train we took was like 6:20 or 6:30 train, which meant that we had to get up at four something, and we caught the buses from the hotel to the train station, and then from the train station to Madrid, which was roughly 2.5 hours, I'd say. But the see the sunrise on the train was just beautiful, man. It was breathtaking. And then there was a little bit of confusion of where we needed to pick up the hop on, hop off bus in Madrid, but we found it eventually, got on the bus, and it's so funny that I'm on. I said that this hop on, hop off bus takes us to this gondola that I've been seeing. I want to get on it. And sure enough, it was like stop number 8, whatever have you, from where we got on. And I said, "Oh, I'm getting off here because I want to get on this gondola." So I'm in line to pay for my ride, gondola ride, and the guy just happened to turn around and he goes, "Rally, Captain?" And I said, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "Man, oh my gosh, dude." And you know the rest. Can we take a picture? My family's not gonna believe that you're here. And I'm just like, "Sure, man, let's do it." And so it was the highlight of his day, it seemed, for the most part. And I've been there before because I don't view myself as a star, but someone who has star status, who's been on the big screen or whatever have you, or a rapper or whatever have you, I'm all antsy about them, and here it is, people are getting antsy about me, and
Shoot,
and
you were on the
um,
jumbotron last night, man. What do you mean you ain't been on the big screen? That screen ain't too
nah,
small.
I'm talking, what I'm talking
I
about.
know
But
what you're talking about.
anyway, I can appreciate that too. But yeah, man, it's just a good feeling, and people know you, they respect you, and the fact that you guys listen to us, because one thing I think you guys know is we're not going to steer you in the wrong direction. You got a lot of people who just want clicks and likes. No, I mean, we want that, but we're going to give it to you in an honest way, and where you'll be able to take this meat and potatoes back and truly be able to digest it and understand where we're coming from. And that's one of the reasons why, Ted, I can really appreciate, looking back now, several seasons ago, you saying, "No, we want to give the people what they're not going to hear, the watered down. We're going to give them the real nitty gritty," and that's why we call it DMV mess hall, because we get into the mess. And so I really can appreciate you from looking back years on, because at first I was saying, "Man, I'm not really a podcast type of guy," but you're like, "Dude, come on." And so here we are. So thank you guys once again.
And that was honestly the highlight of Spain for me, right? It just going to the Commanders rally that they did, they knocked it out the freaking park. They spent thousands of dollars, right? And I actually talked
Wow.
to the Dolphins group that was contacted. The Dolphins group, they wanted 50,000 euro, that bar, the Irish Rover, to host a party there. That's what they were trying to get out of you and me when they reached out to me to try and do something there. I don't know what the team negotiated with them, but the team took care of all of it, right? The
Hmm.
entire place was reserved. There was a rooftop. There was a line out the door. People could not get in, but the place had well over 1,500, a couple thousand of us inside that thing. The only thing I have a
Nice.
problem with is siesta in Spain is legit, right?
Oh yeah.
You know how your rallies go until like a certain time. So sometimes you do a rally from like 5 to 7, but everyone hangs out after.
Hmm.
This was from, I want to say 11 to 4 or maybe 11 to 3. And no, it was 11 to 4. Last call, they called it 3:15. The last drink they served was at 3:20, and everybody was basically taken out of the building. That's the only thing that sucked because
Wow.
they shut the place down. Like they were taking a legit break It's like you have thousands of people, thousands of Americans that are willing to just give you money hand over fist. They're like, nope, can't
So,
do it.
yep.
In the middle of the
It,
afternoon, it's not like his last call at 2 o'clock in the morning. In the
mhm.
middle of the afternoon, and there were still a lot of people trying to get in. So that was the only thing that was a bummer. But to hear Gogo playing in Madrid, right, to kick it with B and Tana and Logan, all the guys running around, and everybody was asking where you were, man. I'm walking around the entire place, just saying hi to everybody. Where's Rally? Where's Rally? What's going on? And I'm just trying to remind him he's got his trip, right? But make sure you vote for him for Fan of the Year. They made an announcement at the rally on your behalf to mention that. Brian Coburn was up there chatting with everybody. And it
Oh, that's
was
cool.
just, it was good, but it obviously felt like it was missing a piece, which was you. But I know that you had to do what you had to do with that group. And I met a bunch of people from your group and said that, man, they are so happy that they booked with you because you did it right. And it was just so much easier than some of the other people that I talked to that did groups from not trying to knock the other companies, but just third party with people that they don't know and not a face that you can actually, talk to or ping if
Hmm.
you have a problem. So I'm just so happy that, at least from the outside, it looked like everything went smooth.
Oh, well, everything did go smooth up until the ticket fiasco, and we'll get into that. But that was a whole different thing. And I hated the fact that normally the rallies, let's face it, and we talked about it, but I'm going to just cover it over again. Normally the rallies are the day before the game. But because Miami was the home team, they were able to book that date. And so prior to me even finding out what the date was of the rally, I said, "Oh, well, since the rallies are always the day before the game. Hey, we're going to go 2 days before the game to Madrid." And what do you know? It fell on the same day. So, that's what
Yeah,
happened,
it
man.
was
But
bad luck.
I wanted to be there, and I'm actually on the train to Madrid, and people are texting me, and where are you? Where are you? What's going on? So yeah, but
We had
that's
that
how it
WhatsApp
is.
group and people were asking where you were inside there. And the only thing I would say is I did feel like an adult chaperoning a bunch of kids on a high school trip, right? Because there was just, for all these people that managed to get a passport, get themselves on a plane to a foreign country, just some of the questions that they were asking in this WhatsApp group were just, it was ridiculous. Like they've never heard of Google before or the Weather Channel or do you think it's going to be cold? Should I pack this? Should I
Oh,
do this?
welcome to my world, brother. Welcome
Oh
to a
my.
travel. I need to go ahead and license you as a travel agent right now. Give homeless, baby. Bam, there you are.
If I get my discount for flying, hell yeah. But it was a little crazy, man, because these are all grown adults that are just
Yeah.
asking questions. And Mrs. Tailgate always reminds me that common sense is not common, right? And I'm not trying to knock her brothers and sisters, but some of them I almost feel like they were just lonely or they were getting FOMO because they were at home and a bunch of us were already in Spain. So they were just kind of trying to chime in. And it was kind of cool because we built a little community on that chat. But because, you said the Dolphins had it the next day, it's actually even more than that. Spain was playing in a World Cup qualifier match. And we're obviously
Uh,
in Spain. There were a bunch of World Cup qualifier games that were happening on Saturday. So all of the bars around town were hosting World Cup events. Forget
gotcha.
this American football thing that's in our country that we don't really care about. We care more about the real football. So that's why there really wasn't anywhere to go. So Friday, we have the rally. Friday night, Mitch Tischler and JP Finley have their podcast party, which was
Hmm.
a poop show, right? It starts off at one bar, and we hyped it up so much that that bar got packed within 15, 20 minutes. And we had to go to a different bar that was literally a half a block away, and then trying to steer all the people over there and tell people on social media that we were there. That bar, there is nothing apparently about an occupancy permit because you could not move. It was just nuts to butts inside there. But you know how JP always says, I owe you a beer at the end of his shows?
Yeah. Yeah.
They paid for the entire bar for a couple of hours,
Wow.
right?
Okay.
Thousands
That's
of
awesome.
people. So that part was
Awesome.
badass. And like you would just you're shaking hands, you're kissing babies. That's where I met Maggie from Utah and a bunch of the listeners. And I just kind of got tired of taking pictures. I kind of just wanted to sit back and drink.
No.
It had been like babysitting, man. So I just wanted to sit back and drink and relax. And I sat in the corner with another season ticket holder who I had just met, but they listened to the show and they saved me a spot. And I was just kind of sitting back and just taking it all in, man. And just to see all of the burgundy and gold and to hear our fight song just playing inside that bar, it
Mhm.
was awesome, man. I mean, Jason was there, like all the people that we know, it felt like a home game, except I could enjoy it because for home games, I'm so busy, I don't get a chance to chat
Yeah.
it up with anybody, man.
And you're not cooking. That's right.
And we ended up leaving. I think we're walking around at 3 o'clock in the morning in Madrid. And it's a crazy scene, man. But it was just so much fun just wandering the streets and just being out there. And, fast forward, we get back. It's what, Saturday. Everybody's asking, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Like, there was nothing planned, right? There was nothing official planned. So, what did you end up doing that day since it was kind of an off day?
So Saturday, the beginning of the ticket fiasco
Oh,
started
yeah.
because I called you and I
Yeah,
said,
you did.
bro, I said, man, I know how to speak perfectly good English and I can comprehend what I read, but this ain't working. And we actually had this talk prior to me leaving because I wanted to distribute these tickets to these people prior to leaving so that I could enjoy my trip. Well, that didn't happen. And every time I would call the Ticketmaster, StubHub, or whatever you want to call it, they would always try to walk me through it, and it would never work what they wanted me to do. Finally, and we talked about it. Finally, they said, "Well, is there anybody that you trust?" And I said, "Yeah, there's a guy on my trip who I trust." So they said, "Well, send him the link to the tickets." So normally, so let me say this: stateside, when you buy tickets for people, you get a link that says transfer the tickets. You send them the link. They can transfer the ticket to their email address,
Yeah.
and they get it, download the tickets, done. No, not this. NFL Europe wants you to download the tickets into your Google Wallet.
Or Apple.
Well,
But yeah.
or Apple Wallet, Google Wallet, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Well, that just doesn't work unless you have maybe one or two people who you're hanging out with. You guys are going to walk in together. You're sitting together. I got 200 people. I can't. I can't put 200 tickets in my wallet. So that started. So I'm on the phone with the ticket masters or whatever have you, and they're trying to tell me what to do. So I said, okay. What they said was, if you know someone, send them the link for the tickets. And I said, okay. So I contacted a friend of mine and I said, hey, I'm going to send you this link. Let me know what you get. He goes, hey man, I got the link, but they're asking for your two-factor authentication
Oh my
with this
goodness.
with this passcode. So I said, okay, no problem. I can work around that. I gave him the passcode. All of a sudden he goes, dude, I see all of the tickets. And I said, what? He goes, I see all of the tickets. And he goes, I don't feel comfortable with this. And I said, well, back of it, X out of it right now. And so what they wanted me to do was say, give everybody this link and say, this is your ticket, and trust
That
that
they don't pass it around.
exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Or if hypothetically you have row 20, I assign Ted row 20, and all of a sudden you look in the list and you see a row 2. What's going to stop you from taking that row 2? So couldn't do it. So that X that. So now people on my trip who have never traveled with me before are saying, do you really have our game tickets? And I'm saying, yes, I have your game tickets, but I can't download them. Fast forward to game day. Well, so I'm sorry. Saturday night still, what me and Miss Rally did was we said, okay, we have a printout of everyone's name, their section, their row, and their seat number. So we made sure that we had that. So we emailed that to everyone and said, listen, here are our two options that we got to do. We're either going to go to the ticket counter and see if they can print these tickets. And if they can make paper copies, we will call out your name and give you your paper
Hand them
copies.
out.
If not, we will have to go to the scanner and I will have to scan each individual in one at a time.
That's insane.
But just understand, you will not have your game ticket. You're going to have to refer to the email that I sent you that had your name, your seat, your row, etc.,
Yeah.
your section. So everybody said, okay, we got it. All right. So now, like I said, it's game day. We leave and everybody's in good spirits. We get to ticket resolution. And I said, hey, here's my name, my email address. I've got all these people behind me. And
So you had 200 people behind you at that point.
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
even get all those people there
Yeah.
must have been
Well,
insane.
we had the buses. I mean,
Yeah.
bro, everything rolled like clockwork, just like Kansas City. It was
Yeah.
clockwork. It wasn't no issue. So the lady looks and she goes, oh, wow. So I gave her my ID, gave her my email address, my address, and all that good stuff. And she goes, oh, yeah, I see I see the tickets. And so I turn around to everybody. And I'm like, fingers crossed. And everybody starts cheering. Yeah. So they print out basically 60 tickets.
So
And
you
they
got the
said,
140 just SOL.
yeah.
Huh.
So, but nevertheless, I sent the email and I told everyone, hey, if you don't get it, the next step is to scan everybody's ticket individually.
Yeah.
So we pass out the tickets for the paper copies of the tickets. Those people go on their way. So now we are marching to the gate. And obviously there's a language barrier, but I said, my Google Translator app, I didn't want to talk it. I didn't want to speak into it. I wanted to text exactly what I wanted to say so that he could read what I wanted to say. So there was no issues whatsoever. So I said, I got these people behind me. I have their tickets on my phone, but I can't get to them. What do I need to do? In the meantime, what I don't realize is the line that we are forming is blocking the ADA line.
Oh, man.
And the ADA line, for people that don't know, handicap, disabilities, wheelchairs. So now, not a ruckus, but a disturbance, if you will, is starting to happen because people can't get through. And I'm happy that it happened that way because I was able to get officials to come out to understand what was going on. So, exactly. So the guy says, you got to leave. And I typed in my phone, I'm not leaving until I get assistance. Do you see all these? I have tickets for all these people behind me. I'm typing this, bro, because I didn't want there to be any misunderstanding. And so the guy looked at and I showed him my phone and he goes, oh, you could just see it. So he got on his little walkie-talkie. And the funny thing is this, after he got on the walkie-talkie, I guess people who heard the traffic over the radio peeped their head around the corner and their facial expression. If you can see my facial expression, they were like, that's the space. Did you see me?
So what time in the morning was this? Because the game was whatever, 3 o'clock their time. So
3 o'clock their time. So
what time was this when you guys were in line?
This was probably 12:30, 1 o'clock-ish.
I was about to say it had to be early. Okay.
Yeah, it was early. It was early. So the next thing you know, a guy comes out and he goes, well, you guys got to get out of this line. So just get yourself into so there's where do you actually scan your tickets to go through the metal detectors, if you will. We didn't have to go through the metal detectors. They brought us in around the corner just to get everybody out of the way.
You had so many people, yeah.
Yeah. And so the guy says, all right, well, show me the tickets. And now because I knew that if I tried to put them all in my wallet, that I wouldn't be able to get to them.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to access the tickets. Well, you know the deal. Everybody and their mom's
Cell
pinging the
service is
websites.
bad. Yeah.
Those, and the guy says, "Well, I have a Wi-Fi," and I plugged into his Wi-Fi, and some of the tickets are coming up, but all of them aren't. So now this NFL exec comes out, and I'd say he's about 6'4", 6'5", white guy, tall white guy,
Speaks English?
English, yeah,
Good.
American,
Okay.
American.
Yeah.
Well, what seems to be the problem here? And so I'm explaining it to him, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "Well, that's because you did it wrong." And I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "I've been on the phone with these ticket reps, and this is what they told me to do. These were my two options, and here I am. So what can you do?" And then I explained it to him, and I showed him everything. He goes, "Ooh," he said, "You didn't do it wrong. You did it right."
No, your system's messed up, right? That's really what all it comes down to is the way, and that's the part that I don't get, right? Is you weren't the only one that, granted, you had this on a massive scale, but there were so many of our brothers and sisters that were buying tickets for their friends because
Yes.
if we go back even farther, the lottery system was such a mess. Getting these tickets was such a mess. So we were all logged in at 4 o'clock in the morning, and whoever just got through that queue that had several 100,000 people just bought tickets for their friends. Right. All right. You
Hmm.
got the tickets. Okay. I'm just going to Venmo you the money. The problem was, the rally's saying you couldn't send them to people. But if you trusted the people, okay, you could pass them along or this and that. You could buy tickets, though, during that. Use a 4 ticket limit. You could buy tickets in the nosebleeds. You could buy tickets downstairs. So,
Hmm.
like Caitlin, one of my Hill Barbecue sisters, she got tickets from just a random person online that ends up following me on X, and they could have completely screwed her over and just not sent her the ticket. It's just
Yeah.
the whole thing was just a mess. And that's what I don't get is right. I understand it is Ticketmaster Europe, but it's the NFL, right? And that's the
Hmm.
part that makes no sense to me. I mean, to top it off, getting in the stadium was a nightmare. There were
Oh,
two
I
entrances.
haven't finished, brother. I haven't finished.
Oh,
So
shoot,
so 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 let me continue on here, if you don't mind.
shoot.
So the NFL exec comes out and he goes, "Oh, wow." And I said, "Sir, I have a spreadsheet that has everyone's ticket section, the whole 9 yards." And he goes, "Got it. I need 15 security guards to come to this entrance right now." And I'm like, "Okay, we got some traction." And they're in yellow coats. No, these guys are in white and black coats. The other people were in yellow and black coats. So I guess they were a different level of security, if you will. The issue then became, well, because of how the stadium is sectioned off,
Yeah.
if you have section 117, you have to enter through, let's just say, door 5. If you got section 118, you got to enter through door 6. You have to. They will not let you go through any type. You just can't walk around the stadium.
So just so our listeners know, the reason being, unlike US stadiums, the sections don't connect. They want to keep the opposing soccer fans away from each other. So I'm in section 103, hog farmers are in section 104. We can't ever actually meet. We can't even get to the concourse or the bathroom or the bar because they
Mm-hmm.
try and separate you guys. So on your ticket, I made sure to tweet out and let people know you have to enter through your door or gate because if you go to the wrong one, they're going to turn you around or
Yep.
you can't even get in. So keep
Yep.
going.
All right. So now, mind you, I've got this herd of people behind me, and luckily, I didn't think about this, but there was this retired Army logistics guy who was on my trip. He goes, "We can do this." He goes, "Okay, everybody in section 117, get in this line. Everybody that's in 105, get in this line. And so each section they lined up, and they had a security guard take that group of people to that entrance. Sounds good, right? Right?
So far,
Sounds good. All right, we're
all
we're
right.
tracking. We're cooking with grease. Now, mind you, I told you everyone does not have a
An
ticket
actual
because
ticket.
they're where? on my phone. But the NFL exec vetted us and said the security guards will take these people through these certain sections. All right, we're still cooking with grease. I'm feeling good. Now it's my group. We're walking to our particular gate or door, if you will. My phone starts blowing up. I'm like, what's going on now? Well, they had two-factor authorization, if you will. One, you have to, in the beginning, you have to show the people your ticket to get into the venue or beyond the security gates, if you will.
Just to get on the grounds, basically.
Just to get on the grounds. But then to actually enter the venue, you have to show the next set of security guards your actual ticket. So I'm getting calls, texts. We can't get in. We can't get in. We don't understand. And the guy saying, I'm an NFL executive. I vetted these guys. We need to get in. And no security guard said,
nope.
Ticket. He goes, no, you don't understand. I've got these guys taken care of. And he says, ticket.
I mean, the NFL has leased the stadium from Real Madrid, right? It's, just like any concert, something that happens there. It's not like, Beyonce is going to have to pay attention to those rules. It's her people say go, you go.
Yeah. That's not how it worked. So finally, now mind you, it's probably at this time, because kickoff is 3:30. At this time, it's probably 3.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Probably 3 o'clock.
It's been 3 hours.
Oh yeah. This was a fiasco, bro. It was a fiasco. So it's 3 o'clock now. So finally, everyone's in the stadium, and I'm thinking, finally, I can try to relax a little bit. Nope. My phone starts blowing up again. There's somebody who's sitting in my seat. I don't understand what's going on. I thought you said I had an actual ticket to the game, and this isn't right. And I'm saying, you do have a ticket. That's your ticket. I bought that ticket. So throughout the stadium, they have these gentlemen who have red vests. And I'm going to send you this picture that a gentleman shared with me. I didn't know he took a picture of me, but I've got like 6 of my people on my trip.
Yeah.
In line, and I'm showing the ticket rep in a red vest the ticket, and he goes, okay, let's go there. And I show him the ticket on my phone. We walk to that section, and he says, sir, those seats don't exist.
What?
I said, thank you. I said, wait a minute, I'm showing you the ticket here on my phone. This is the ticket. This is where they're supposed to. He goes, sir, those seats don't exist. And so the gentleman says, after a while, he goes, well, there's some seats right there. Here, you guys sit in those seats. They're like, these aren't our seats. He goes, sit in these seats.
Oh,
and
no.
They wound up sitting in those seats. And I guess they didn't get bothered. But mind you, by this time now, I missed the first quarter.
Yeah.
I missed the first quarter. I couldn't enjoy myself. I was all wound up like a top.
I can't even imagine. The fact that your phone didn't even die at this point with all this going on too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it was bad, bro. And so people were in line, and you know how rumors can start. So in the line, people were like, I can't believe he brought us all the way to Madrid and don't have tickets for us. And people were like, I've traveled with him many times.
Yeah.
This isn't how it is. And people were starting to get upset and saying, I don't care that you travel with him. This is my first time traveling with him, and this is my experience with him. And so then a guy says, this is what I heard through the grapevine. A guy says, look at that. Look at the look on that man's face. Do you really think he wants to be going through that right now? Do you really think he wants to put us through this? So calm your nerve. Let him work the problem. And that's one thing that the military has always said, work the problem, work the problem. And so we worked the problem as best as we could. And people got in. I understand people got upset, but hey, man, I did the best I could with what I had to work with. And after the tensions calmed down, people started to understand that it wasn't me. So
no, not even close to being you. I mean, just the entire process, it was a mess. And I don't remember Actually, you know what? I remember in 2016, it wasn't that crazy because we had paper tickets,
Paper tickets.
right?
That's
And
right.
I remember back then the Redskins got me my tickets, and I went to the box office and picked up my tickets at will call. Right.
Yes.
And we
Yeah.
got rid of paper tickets because of COVID. We got rid of paper tickets because the NFL was making, after a while, making you pay if you wanted paper tickets. Right. I remember one
Hmm.
time getting my box of tickets for the Redskins and they spelled, I think, a couple of the players' names wrong on the tickets. I think it was
On the
London
ticket.
Fletcher and
Yeah.
it might have been Liddell Betts. They spelled his name wrong on the ticket and just different stupid stuff that we did. But there's so many things that could have just made this easier. I mean, if they would adopt the system in the States, right? I don't get the mess. And then there were only two security entrances into the actual stadium grounds. So it took
Hmm.
Mrs. Tailgate and I an hour and a half to get to our
Oh,
seats. Our friends
wow.
were drinking at a bar, right? And I don't want to cut in line because A, people are going to see me cut in line and then I'm going to get a bad rap and people just talk trash.
Yeah.
And B, I just don't feel right doing that. Well, a couple of people recognize me and they say, "Hey, where are you going?" Because we're trying to walk to the back of the line and it just kept going and going and going. A couple people are like, "Where are you guys?" It's like, "We're going to go to the back of the line." I'm like, "No, just come in." So they let us jump in front of them. So we make
Okay.
friends with them. We're hanging out. We're shooting the S. They sent a scout because we'd been in line for maybe an hour at this point. They sent someone to
Mm.
scout it up ahead, and they basically said everyone is just funneling into this point. So this line is a bunch of BS. And let's just go walk up there and bum rush. So then we finally forced our way in, or else we would have missed the first quarter too, just trying to get in the dang
Wow.
game. And it was insane. But once we actually finally got inside, it was surreal, right? The stadium was gorgeous.
Yes.
Just the entire environment was, even though we were the away team, it was just so fun to be there. And I swear, I feel like we outnumbered them, right? And
I agree.
mean, all the Burgundy goal, you could hear us on defense. I don't think you could really hear them, other than some of the people I felt from Madrid, like the actual Madrid locals, were cheering for the Dolphins because it was
They
their
were.
home game.
Yeah.
And a lot of them didn't understand the rules and was trying to explain to them what was going on. The only thing is, a bunch of my friends I saw disappeared, thinking, what the hell happened? They ran out of beer because during their soccer games, you can't drink beer in your seats,
Hmm.
right? And it's something different for the US, but they just like the soccer hooligans and the fighting and everything else is so bad on that level. They don't let you drink in your seats. Right. And that
Yeah.
was a big thing that a lot of people in this WhatsApp kept asking, can we drink? Can we drink? I'm thinking, you guys maybe need to take a couple hours off if this is really what you're worried about right now. But they ran out of beer in the stadium, right? And they ran out of food. They did not expect all these Americans to just eat them out of everything and drink out of everything. So
That's what we
people,
do.
they were
Yeah.
waiting in line, and next thing you know, they get to the front of the line. There's actually nothing but like M&Ms, right? And it was just, it was, I don't know, but you would think,
Oh.
I get it's the first time we've done this in Spain, but this ain't the first time I've been in Europe, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
the
Right.
executive that you talked to, I'm sure he's been to London, right?
Oh, so I gotta tell you, and I forgot to say this to put salt on the wound, Ted. The executive guy, and I forgot his name. He wound up telling me, yeah, we kind of had this same problem in Brazil. And I looked
And
at him
never.
and I said, you had a whole year to get this right from Brazil to get all the kinks out. And this is where we're still at? Shame on you. Oh, I was hot, bro. I
I
was
don't blame
hot.
you. It's just
Yeah.
they know we're going to pay regardless. They're taking our money, right? And that doesn't mean they got to give us a good product in return, which was the frustrating part of it, right? Just once you actually got in and you're hanging out and you're in the stadium, that was awesome, right?
Hmm.
But
It was.
the anxiety leading up to all that, and I know you had it on a much larger scale. I know so many other people that were just worried about like the five people they had with them and the other couple people over here and getting in. And Mrs. T and I were in line going through, and I saw like Easy Streets texting me, and he's at a bar around the corner. He's like, come on through. It's like, bro, you don't get it. This line is ridiculous. I'm not even going to bother going to go get a drink. And the team did a rally that morning miles away from the stadium, not even close to the stadium. and traffic in the city was just such gridlock that there was
Hmm.
literally a caravan of people walking like several miles to get there. And I was so bummed I missed it because Josh Harris was there. He bought everybody the entire bar of beer. He was pulling
Yeah.
JP Finley's bit, right? And meanwhile, I'm actually kind of happy we did this. Mrs. Tailgate's friends booked a tuk tuk tour.
Yes.
So it's basically imagine a motor scooter that has like a bunch of seats behind it. So we did a tour of the city that morning instead of all the because we couldn't tailgate, right? There was nothing I wasn't paying a couple $100 for the Santana Moss tailgate or doing
No.
any of that stuff. And finally, when we got there, it was an hour and a half to go, and I just want to get in the stadium. I just because the lines were so crazy. But with that being said, I do it all again in a heartbeat, right? I just being over there and just being with our Burgundy and Gold brothers and sisters overseas was just so much fun to me, even though part of it was a pain in the butt, because it really actually felt like a vacation where we were all on vacation together
Hmm.
and doing a couple of hits with Fox 5 and other stations back home. A couple of them were trying, not, and this wasn't Fox, but a couple of them were trying to rub it in like, well, the team's not doing well, right? What's going on? And, just try to go back to your analogy without stealing it, right? Cake without icing. To me, it was a Sunday without a cherry. I'm still eating the hell out that Sunday, right? I'm not
Oh, it was
sitting there,
good too.
right?
It was
I
good.
mean, the paella, the jamon, drinking all the wine, just everything else, just getting, I probably never would have been to Spain before, right?
Yeah.
I know it's probably a place that I should go to and go visit, but realistically, before Mrs. Tailgate came around, I only vacationed in cities that had an NFL team in them.
Hmm.
So, with that being said, we fast forward a little bit, 2026, we're running it back. You ready to go
That's
back
right.
again?
Uh, I'm ready to go wherever the team takes me. I told you we could play on the moon. I'll mortgage the house. I'll get there. I'll figure out a way to get on the moon to watch the team play. So I'm really curious to where we will be playing, and that's going to really dictate a lot. And I can't wait to find out.
So, where do you want to go?
Well, I can tell
What
you
would be
that.
so for real quick, we are the home team. So
Hmm.
for those that don't know, and you listen to this podcast, you got to know. But for those that don't know, we're going to be the home team next year. So where would you want to be the home team at? What country, what city, what state, whatever.
Believe it or not, it's going to kill me to say this, but I wouldn't mind going to Australia. Never been. I just don't want. I mean, if you thought that the ride to Madrid was bad, you might tack on another couple hours because from DC to Australia is almost like 13 hours, if I'm not mistaken, 13 to 14 hours. So, but I wouldn't mind going to Australia, bro. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't mind seeing the outback out there, the Aborigines. I mean, there's
Get
so
a
much
blooming onion.
blooming, all that good stuff, man. You know, do a
That's
walkabout.
22 hours, bro.
Oh,
That's a
my bad.
22-hour flight. Yeah, not
So,
12.
yeah, so that's the only problem with Australia, but I wouldn't mind going there. Um, Believe it or not, I wouldn't mind going back to London. I wouldn't, and the reason why I say that is because I think that they are now more in touch with the NFL America, if you will, and their setup is more Americanized, if you
Yeah.
will. So, and I don't have to look over my shoulder. That's another thing. Um, I felt safe in Barcelona. I felt safe in Madrid. Even though they talk about pickpocketers and all that type of stuff, I felt very, very comfortable. A lot of people want to go to Brazil. And I'll say this, I wouldn't mind going to Brazil, but that's not high on my list simply because what I've heard from the other people about always having to have an armed guard with you, because the theft is so rampant there, you know, um, just their experience of if they're on a bus, they got a guy with the AK-47. It's like I don't want
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I always got to look over my shoulder, or my things secure. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why my hand goes kind of down to Brazil, but I wouldn't mind going to Brazil.
No,
All right.
I'm right there with you.
What
So
about you, bro?
The NFL is playing games in Australia, Brazil,
Hmm.
Mexico City, Germany, and the UK, right? Those
Mm,
are the locations that are planned, right?
Germany.
So we technically, since we're the home team, we're not playing in Australia. The Rams have the rights to Australia. So
Okay,
it
that's
came out
out.
came out earlier this year that the Commanders have the marketing rights for Dubai. So that means when there's going to be a game in Dubai, that we're going to be the home team for that game in Dubai. It's not going to be
Hmm.
anybody else. So because
Hmm.
of that, the Rams have the rights to Australia. Right. There's
Okay.
also supposed to be a game in Paris. It's not official yet. That to me would be awesome. But the Saints,
The
French
Saints.
Quarter, they have the rights to Paris. So that's out the window, right? There are two games in Brazil that are supposed to happen. Sao Paulo, which has been the one that is the first game of the season. We're 3 and 9. We're not going to be the home team starting the season in Sao Paulo. So
No,
I'm
don't see
kicking
that
that one
happening.
out the window. I'm with you on Rio, right? I've heard so many bad things about
Yeah.
you've got to stay within X amount of blocks. If you leave these
Hmm.
blocks, you're kind of on your own. Like
Yeah.
it was legit 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm walking around Madrid by myself. Right? Probably not
Yeah,
the
man.
smartest thing, but I felt safe, man. I felt perfectly
Exactly.
fine there, and I don't want to have to worry about being in. I don't speak Spanish, right? I had my Apple AirPods with Live Translate, which actually works amazing. Those of you that haven't tried it, you should. But I just don't want to have to worry about that. Mexico City, I'd be cool to go there, right? Because
I
that's
think
just a
so.
quick flight, right? It's just only what 6 hours or so to get out there. Germany could be fun, but I don't think we're allowed to go to Germany because I'm almost positive someone else has the rights for Germany from that side of things. Yeah, the Steelers, the Giants, the Packers, and the Seahawks. So we don't have the rights to Germany. Because we're the home team, I don't think we're going to be in Germany. So that really leaves the UK and going back there or Rio. So out of those two, I want to go back to the UK. I had a
Yeah.
blast out there. It was
Heck
so
yeah.
early. It was 2016 when we played, right? Like you said, they have fixed so much of the stuff that I don't want to say was bad, but they kind of ironed out some of those kinks. And they've been
Hmm.
playing so many games there. I gotta think the ticket experience and getting in and everything else is going to be smoother than going to Brazil, Rio for the first time, or going to Australia for the first time, even if that was an option. And they speak English in the UK. So
Yes.
I'll
Good
bring some,
English too.
I'm going to bring some Old Bay with me so I can season my food, right? And I'll be good with that, man. I'm hoping we get to go back out there and maybe don't play at Wembley, maybe play at, Tottenham Stadium or whatever the
Yeah.
hell, and just get a chance to, explore more. And hopefully we find a bigger bar than the one, I think it was, it actually popped up in my, Facebook feed.
Your
I
memories.
think it was Baker's Boy or something like that. The bar that we were at last time for that rally that Dan Snyder was actually passing out drinks with Bruce Allen over there.
Yeah.
But the downside is we lose a home game, right? Those that don't know, that aren't season ticket holders, we have always gotten 10 home games a year. No matter what, it has always been 10 home games a year. Back in the day, there used to be 3 preseason games and 7 regular season. When the NFL decided to come out with 8 regular season games, we had 2 preseason games and 8 regular season games. Then all of a sudden, the NFL decided to go with 9 games for one side and 8 games for the other side. So when we had 9 home games, then we would get 1 preseason games, but it always totaled 10,
Hmm.
right? When this happened, I remember back then the Redskins saying, "You're getting an extra home game. You're getting an extra home game," when they raised our season ticket prices. And this was years ago, back when we were still the Redskins. Like, who are you guys trying to fool? Right? We're not getting an extra home game. We are still
No.
getting 10 games.
Hmm.
So some season ticket holders don't count preseason, right? And if you look at your individual game ticket, your game ticket prices, it's not the same per game. Your
No.
primetime games and your division games cost more than preseason games. Back in the day, they used to just take that number and divide it by 10. So let's just say it was, $1,000 for your season tickets. It was $100 a game you paid. People got pissed because I'm paying $100 for preseason. I don't want to pay $100 for preseason if I'm paying $100 for the Cowboys game. So to calm everyone down, they made preseason $25 and they made the Cowboys game $175 to balance out that cost. The
To
total was
balance it
still the
out.
same.
Still the same, right?
But because we're going overseas next year, and this is the part that kind of bothers me. We are only getting 9 home games next season,
Hmm.
not 10. The Commanders are saying since we're hosting a game out there. Okay, that's fine. I get that. But you would think if you're taking something away from me, you would prorate that game. They're not doing that. So we came, and it was during the bye week. They sent out an article. I think Nikki Javala was the first to mention it. They raised season ticket prices on us.
Once again, before Christmas, why do you guys do that? Come on, man.
It
We
was at
talked about
least
this.
November.
Yeah,
Last time it was literally 2 weeks before Christmas, and I think they kind of heard us complaining about that. But no, I hear you. Like, let us know earlier. But I almost feel, and I don't think they did this, but to let it out during the bye week when everyone's kind of unplugged, it kind of reminded me of the old regime a little bit when they would let the bad news out on a Friday when no one's paying attention, like
mm,
during the off season when no one's caring. But the article said ticket prices went up on average 14%. That was if you're comparing the total you paid last year to the total you paying next year. That's not how it actually goes. We had 10 games this year. We're only getting 9 games next year. So if I do the math and I
you're doubling
divide
up.
what I'm
Hmm.
paying by 10 this year and what I'm paying next year by 9, my season ticket price actually went up 23%.
Yeah,
And I don't know how much yours went up, and I'm not trying to get in your pockets, but that's the part that kind of frustrates me is prorate me that game that I cannot get. And oh, by the way, if we do want to go to London or wherever the game is going to be, we still got to buy that ticket. I'm not expecting them to give that ticket to us for free.
it's not a home ticket. That's right. We got to pay for it.
It is a home game, but we still have to actually come out of pocket for that ticket.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of season ticket holders I'm talking to right now. And this is people just in their emotions and their feelings because the team's not doing well, right? And I think some of these fans jumped back on the bandwagon last year after we had a good run and they were expecting the good run to continue and they're not used to the bad times like you and I are and a bunch
That
of our
roller
listeners
coaster.
are. And they're
Mhm.
saying, well, I'm jumping off. And I'd love to actually see the people that say that and the people that actually execute that once it's time to sign on the dotted line and re-up. Because they know I'm in, they know you're in. I know a bunch of our listeners are going to be in, but I am
Mhm.
going to say I am frustrated with the team on how they did this whole thing.
Well, that's what Jerry Jones always said. My team will not play overseas because you're not going to take that home game away from me. I mean, that's what he said. Jerry Jones he's always said that. And I don't know if the Cowboys have played overseas or not. I don't believe they have, but he's always said, you're not going to take a home game away from me in my stadium. And everybody knows Jerry's got the power. And so Jerry exercises it quite often.
Yeah, they have not actually been the home game for an NFL Europe team. And that's crazy, man. They played in 2014 in London,
Okay.
but they were the away team. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess Jerry can flex and NFL just does whatever the hell that old man wants him to do.
They
So,
capitulate. Yeah.
and I am excited, right? Because it was cool being there, seeing like they had the Dolphins announcer, they had the Dolphins cheerleaders, they had their horrible colors all throughout the stadium. So it would be awesome to see that with us being the home team, right? To have our announcers there, our graphics, the command force, Major Tuddy, like all of that, to have it truly be that home experience. I met so many people that have been to my tailgate that live overseas, right?
Oh,
And for them to actually experience a home game, like a Commander's home game, we have listeners in the UK. I see the analytics on the back end. So,
hmm.
I cannot wait for that to happen. But it's just frustrating that the team, I got to think that they got to give us more credit than this, right? They got to know that we're going to be able to do the math and realize that, right, what we're paying per game is a hell of a lot more next year versus what we're paying now.
Well, everyone knows that, okay, we understand that you've made stadium improvements. We understand that you're going to be building a new stadium. We understand all that stuff, and we know that that money doesn't grow on trees. It's simple as we would say back in the day, arithmetic, not arithmetic, simple arithmetic. And so we have some people who are very smart with arithmetic and counting numbers and stuff like that, you know? So come on, guys, help us out. We want to help you as much as you want to help us. So it's a win-win for us all. Just help us out.
I am going to give them credit because I don't think that they knew that this was coming, right? I think that the NFL sprung this on the Commanders after they had planned to raise season ticket prices. The season ticket price increase did not just come up in November. They had been planning this for some time,
Mm-hmm.
especially after the season we had last year. But once they realized the NFL was taking a home game away from us, which this was always a possibility because usually they take a home game away from the team that has 9 games. That's just what it comes down to. And guess what? We have 9 home games next season, 9 regular season home games next season. So they should have had a plan B to maybe not raise our season ticket prices as much because we're losing a home game. If you still give me the increase, okay, but don't increase it as much because I am getting less stuff. And that's the part that I know they listen because they tell me they listen. And that's just kind of what I'm voicing to you guys, right? And our listeners have voiced that to us. And I also want to make sure our listeners truly understand the scenario on the math because it was kind of hard for some people to comprehend. Like, no, it's 10 games. Like those preseason games count. And just everything else that goes through. And a lot of people that just aren't season ticket holders. And like I said, you're going to be there. I'm going to be there. Regardless, and God willing, we're going to be overseas wherever we go. Even if it is Brazil, right? We might have to hire a bodyguard or get someone to help
Or
us out.
two. Yeah.
I was actually thinking of the Fast and Furious when they were like driving through the favelas and like I think was it Brazil when they had that safe tied to the back of the cars
Yeah.
driving it through the town. So yeah, that looks like a safe place to send all these fans to. But man, it's still going to be a good time, right? And speaking of good times, how was it? Because you've been on the field, I'd say more than some of the coaches, right? You're always down there hanging out for your field pass, everything else. But to see you down there in the second quarter, and I've seen you on the jumbotron because they cut to you during different spots trying to get the crowd hyped up, but to be down there and they asked you because they were honoring you for fan of the year. What was that like, man?
I have to tell you, when I've talked to players and they say, I really don't hear you calling my name because of taking it all in, I can see why. I heard my name over the loudspeaker, but that's all I could really hear. And I heard the cheering, the roar of the crowd, but people were saying I was calling your name and I couldn't hear it. So I can try to understand what players say or what they go through. And the fact is, I was standing right there on the helmet in the end zone, and it was surreal, Ted. I got to tell you, it really was, man. I mean, it was just a great feeling that took over me being on the field. That the same location that Mariota just threw the pick in the end zone. I was right there. I mean, that's where I was.
That's my end zone. Yeah.
Yeah, I was right there. But it was surreal, man. I know I keep using that word, but it really was. You just can't fathom it until it happens to you.
So
And
when
it was
they asked you to come out there for this, did you practice like your Miss America wave or what did you do to get ready for this?
I didn't know exactly what they were going to do. I know in years past, Janine, the in service,
Janine Samuels.
Janine Samuels, she normally will come out and ask questions, and so, but there was no Janine. And I said, okay, well, what am I doing basically? And they said, just go out there and just get everybody hyped up, do what you do. So, all right, I waved the flag around my head like a helicopter. Uh, I I put it on, showed everybody my regular flag, and just started pointing at people, just the crowd, shall I say, and it was over at that point. But it was a good feeling.
So for those that are listening, I took a video of Rally down on the field, and it was awesome, man, to see you down there and them hyping it up. And the reason why the team did this was A, to recognize him as the Commanders fan of the year, and B, to remind people, vote, guys. Vote, 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 right? You can vote as many times as you want to click on that damn button. You just hit refresh and vote again because
Mhm.
this is for the NFL fan of the year, not the Commanders fan of the year. That's over with.
Correct.
He's already won that, right? No one in the burgundy and gold has actually won this award. So you're not only going to be representing Rally up there, but the entire fan base if we can win this honor. And that's why I think this is so important for our listeners to hear. And a bunch of them reply back to the tweets and the Instagram posts, everything else saying, I voted for him. I voted for him. It's like, appreciate, vote again. Right. And that's,
Yeah.
why the team put you up there. And I, I'm going to have to say something to him about it next time because when they had you on the Jumbotron, I need them to put a QR code so people could scan that on the Jumbotron. This way they can vote for you with that QR code right there. Makes it easier, right? Just different little stuff because they also sent an email out with a picture of you and voting for fan of the year. So it's just that's gotta be awesome. And I was trying to think of like what the hell would I do? Because I'm not good if people are just staring at me. Like Chad Ricardo came to the tailgate, and Smoot came to the tailgate, and we were doing he did like the pregame tailgate show that they
Yeah.
do, and then Ricardo was doing the whole Fox 5 thing. And if we're talking and having a conversation, I can talk to you off the cuff without any prep all day, every day. But
Hmm.
if you just want me to stand there and wave, there are some times when I'm on Fox and the camera's going live and I'm not actually talking or saying anything because one of the anchors is going or this and that, or it's my man Easy that's chatting and saying something. I feel like I feel like an awkward kid at like a middle school dance. Like I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know which way I should stand, what I should do. Like, should I do like the Hulk Hogan, like calling out with my hand, like I can't hear you guys type of thing? But you look like you were a pro at it and a natural. And obviously the flag helps, you just holding that thing up and just it was awesome to see though, man.
I once again, I thank you to everyone who voted for me. And as Ted said, that's the Commanders uh, fan of the year, but now they have the ultimate NFL fan of the year. So I greatly appreciate it if you can do me the favor again and keep clicking it and keep voting because as Ted said, the DMV has never won it, and I would love to bring it home to us.
Yeah. And I mean, the Commanders aren't going to the Super Bowl, but we might as well send someone in the burgundy and gold there. So, in after this week's game, we are not officially eliminated from the playoffs, but I think pretty much next week, if things don't go well and other things happen, I think a couple of teams had to tie for us to officially be knocked out. But I don't even remember how many games we've lost in a row. Or I want to say it might be six. It's been a while.
Six, no, it's seven.
Seven now.
Yeah, 7 games.
It,
Yeah.
but I don't believe in moral victories, right? But I wasn't upset after that game. And I don't know how to explain it. And I've been trying to rationalize and think about this. But after getting our ass beat so bad by the Seahawks when we were wearing our Super Bowl era jerseys on prime time, I'm thinking they're going to flex us out of this game, right? Because it's a bad product to watch right now.
Yeah.
But next thing you know, Mariota throws that pick where you were standing over there on top of that helmet. Like, oh man, here we go again. But the defense, all of a sudden, right? It's amazing what happens when you actually have a defensive coordinator, aka Dan Quinn, that's doing a better job, and the guys start playing better. I mean, that turnover didn't really kill us, right? And the guys played up. I mean, a lot of people probably don't, the Broncos have won 9 games in a row. right? They're
Yeah, man.
leading in the AFC, right? We went toe to toe with a legit playoff Super Bowl contender right now. And
Hmm.
that's actually, we won the Chargers game. To me, this was the most entertaining game I have seen the team play all season.
Well, what we've always said is obviously we understand that a team is going to win and a team is going to lose, but if you're going to lose, show us that effort and we'll swallow that pill providing that you guys give us that effort. And they gave a capital E for effort last night. They really did. And for the viewership at home, there was nobody checking out early. No, people stayed up and watched this thing to the wire because it came down to it. No one checked out early. So I I can live with the loss. Just continue to play like that and maybe a little bit better to be able to win. I did a pregame talk, and a lot of people were saying, "Hey, they want us to lose, but they want us to lose with great effort." Well, they got what they asked for, but I always want us to win regardless. Draft picks, okay, I understand all that stuff, but I want us to win because I wear the W on my chest.
Yeah, I'm not down with the whole tanking crowd, right? I'm not down
No.
with, and we talked about this weeks before all the talking heads started talking about it. I need to see Jaden back on the field. I
Yep.
need to see five out there. Even though we have technically nothing to play for, there's something to be said about experience, right? There's something to be said about reps, and the young man needs reps. This entire team needs reps, right? And some of the
Mhm.
stuff that I saw Colson Yankoff running out there and holding his own. Believe it or not, Colson Yankoff was the sixth highest graded player by PFF, right?
Mm.
Don't know where the hell Ben Sennett is, but Colson Yankoff doing his thing. The kid's got some speed, right? A couple of those plays that went to Ertz, if Yankoff was the one running those routes, he actually would have broke free and probably got in the end zone, right? And it was refreshing to see, other people stepping up. Like Jordan McGee, highest rated player on defense for the team. That young man was everywhere on Sunday, and he's the heir apparent to Bobby Wagner. So seeing these young guys play and
Mm.
stepping up, knowing that they are going to be the next ones up, it was great to see. And Sandra still finally going back outside just because we've had a bunch of injuries. And he played a heck of a game, man. It was fun to watch. And we have not had a product that was fun to watch in quite some time.
Well, this also lets you know that with an elite quarterback, we'd have won this game. Not to take anything against Mariota, just with better quarterback play, we would have won that game. And if JD5 was the better quarterback, I believe we would have won the game. If he's the better quarterback, and everybody believes he is the better quarterback. However, due to his not being on the field, it's looking at what happened last year. How about that? We
Yeah.
we assume that he's the better quarterback, but he's been off a little bit this year, and that's why we agree that he needs to have the reps. He just has been. He hasn't been the JD5 that keep hope alive JD5 that we knew last year. So we want to be able to see him get back into that keep hope alive 85 again. And it looks like he's going to be making his comeback against the Vikings. That's what it looks like.
Oh, you see the video of Mama Jackson saying he's back next week?
Oh, well, there you have it then.
I
Mama knows
mean,
best, baby.
so I was at Harvest Feast, and it's where I'm helping the Commanders hand out 2,500 meals for Thanksgiving. This was
Hmm.
the first year that they've ever actually had players there. So Jada was there.
Really?
First year, it's always been alumni.
Alumni. Okay, you're right. You're right.
Always been alumni. Always Washington Gold, right? Doc Walker's a stalwart there. Ken Harvey's always
Hmm.
there. I don't even want to butcher the names, but always
Yeah,
past that.
yeah.
They had Luke McCaffrey was there. I was chatting with Luke about his dad and his dad's mustard, right? Asking him if he's okay. Jaden was there. They had, I want to say it was Jalen Lane was there. A couple guys were there, and it was just
Hmm.
awesome. I I'm not one of those guys that wants to get autographs and do all that stuff and everything else, letting them be them. Plus, I was working. Granted, I'm volunteering. I'm not getting paid, but I was working trying to make sure these turkeys and everything got handed out. But it was great to see him there being a part of that and knowing that he means this much to the community, right? And there were people that are there. And when he does finally get back on that field, I've got no doubt that everyone, even the tankers, even the ones that want us to lose, because there was a video of the guy talking to Jaden's mom saying, basically, I'm paraphrasing, we don't want him to come back. We're trying to tank. We're trying to lose, right? And to me, that's just such a horrible mentality because if you're so used to losing, guess what? You're going to be a loser, right? You don't understand what it's like to win. And people act like we do. We only had one winning season and how long? So I wasn't upset that we lost the game because they put up a fight, but this is also selfishly for me because the last two games, Philly and Dallas.
Yeah.
If we were playing like we played against the Seahawks, against that Eagles game that's coming up, the last home game, the second to last home game, it'd be miserable. Now I've got faith that these guys can actually put up a fight and defend our home turf.
Because they know what it takes. Now, is it play calling? Is it the head coach lighting a bigger fire underneath your butt? What do you think is the reason why these guys? I saw some blitzes yesterday. We had Bo Nix just looking not afraid, but just looking like, where do I go with the ball? I can't say I've seen that from the other opponents that we've played. So is it the experience of Dan Quinn? What do you think it is, Ted?
So I'm gonna tell you, it's a couple of things, right? It's definitely play calling, right? DQ understands what was working and what was not working. And he said himself during one of his press conferences, I took a couple of plays out the playbook, right? We tried to run it. We tried to execute it. The guys couldn't comprehend. It did not work out. I took the plays out the playbook, right? Just seeing that. We're playing a lot more zone than man, just knowing the weaknesses of your players. I felt that Joe Witt was just banging his head against a wall, trying to force his playbook down the players' throats, even though they're not built for that. Part of it is injuries. Will Harris, having him come back, right? Do you remember the reverse flea flicker they ran last night?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If that would have been a Joe Witt defense, or if that would have been someone else out there, that play would have gone for 80 yards and a touchdown, right?
Don't remind me.
The guys were communicating, right? The guys were there, and they were doing what they needed to do to make sure that they didn't give up. And granted, they did give up some plays, right? And
it's going to happen.
Team. Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. But they brought, according to what's here, Pro NFL, 7 blitzes, right? But there were a lot of simulated pressures. There was at one point Von Miller dropped back and was in coverage because they brought someone else from another side. They were blitzing Bobby Wagner, but they dropped someone else off. So it was just a lot of different stuff that we weren't seeing prior. The other piece is when you finally have your number one receiver on that field, damn, it makes a difference.
Huge difference.
I mean, Terry's snap count wasn't high, and I'm not surprised because he's still trying to get back into it. And there were a lot more times when I saw, other numbers out there that I did not want to see in down and distances. But Terry being able to take the top off of defense, the defense actually having to respect a true receiver. And this is no knock on Debo, but he's just not the same kind of guy, right? He doesn't run the same kind of routes that Terry runs, right? And okay, Burks had an amazing one-handed catch, but realistically, this offense goes when 17's on that field.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And it just, what do they say? Trendsetter. You have more confidence that he's going to be able to catch the ball. It goes back to Art Monk. Speaking of Art Monk, who the hell put out that the man passed away without any vetting? And then people started running with it. Yeah. That's what I couldn't understand. I am never going to post RIP to something like that unless I know for sure.
It's so ridiculous because I was getting text messages. I'm sure you were too.
Yeah.
And those people that don't know what we're talking about, it was right after Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Someone put out there that Art Monk passed away. His Wikipedia page says it. And if you ask Google, it says that Art Monk passed away. I'm like, okay. Nothing from John Keim, nothing from Nikki Javala, nothing from the team, nothing from JP Finley, like the people, the beat reporters that actually cover this team.
Who would know?
Yeah,
Yes.
1,000%. So it's like, all right, guys. And this is, I think, the problem with today's society. No one tries to find a two sources, let alone one legitimate source, because they want, and you talked earlier about getting the likes and the retweets. They want to be
Hmm.
that person that gets the likes and the retweets, and then their stuff goes quote unquote viral, right? And it's ridiculous. And we just saw Art on the field. I just saw him at National Harbor. Guy
Hmm.
couldn't look healthier, right? And I'm just telling our fans that we're actually running with it and this and that. Just don't believe everything you read, right? And AI has been wrong plenty of times.
Many times.
So just slow your roll down a little bit, and the team will make an announcement if, heaven forbid, something like that happens,
Yeah.
and goes from there. But I'm just I'm excited for the rest of the season, not so much because of what's going to mean for next season, because next season is a whole other thing. But usually leaving the games, I'm kind of pissed. I'm bummed. I sit in my seat. I don't want to talk to anybody or take any pictures, right? We just lost. Guess what I did after the game?
What'd you do?
Went to the team store, right? Thinking, oh,
Huh?
Christmas is coming up. I could just get myself a nice little Christmas present.
Yeah.
Dude, they're having a 40% off sale on all jerseys. So, and that's not, I thought this was just for Black Friday because when I was there for Harvest Feast, I went inside there just to see what they had going on for the holiday. And I was talking to the store manager. He said, no, he thinks they're going to run this till the end of the season. So,
Hmm.
a just a let's take the authentic elite Nike jersey. It's
Yeah.
$349. 40% off comes down to 228 bucks, right? And I'm not saying people are going to buy that jersey, but 40% off, I didn't even know what a regular jersey costs. But all the jerseys other than the Super Bowl era jersey are 40% off. And they had a bunch of other gear. So if you're looking to find something for someone for the holidays that's a burgundy and gold fan, stop at the team store. Riley and I don't get commission. I just want to let you all
No.
know because
Yeah.
we do have
Spreading the word. Spreading the
listeners
word.
that
That's right.
they don't have season tickets, so they don't go to the games. But the store is open every day of the week. There's free parking right out front. You can go in there and just go grab yourself something, man. Go grab a Terry jersey, go grab a Jaden jersey, and get 40% off that damn thing. And I'm a medium or a large, depending on the cut, just in case anyone's wondering.
Well, extra large or 2X if it's a jersey. So yeah, I agree with you.
But 40%, man, I'm
That's a steal.
surprised. Yeah, that's a
That's a
freaking
steal.
steal because I thought it was a Black Friday deal. I thought it was like a Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and I'm trying to pull up the pro shop to see how much an actual jersey costs. But regardless, like just a regular jersey, I was gotta say is maybe like $130, right? Nothing super crazy. If the other one's like 350. So 40% off of that, I'm down with that in a heartbeat. Only problem
Definitely, man.
is Mrs. Tailgate said, when am I going to ever wear a jersey that doesn't have my name on the back of it? And she does have a good point. So I think I might hold off on buying one, even though, man, I'm Asian, man. I like a good deal.
You don't have to be Asian enough to like a big deal. That's a human period, brother. That's what I'm talking about.
Ah,
You know what, man? Even though we're not eliminated, but we kind of are eliminated, I still want more football from our squad. This
yeah.
game on Sunday night gave me some true hope. The game in Miami, the goal line stand that we did, that gave me hope. It showed me, yeah, it ended the way that it ended, but it showed me that these guys are capable. Where these other games that they played, it's like, what team is out there? Even
Yeah.
though we knew that they were decimated by injury, it still was, this isn't the team that I grew to love. Miami showed me something last night, showed me something. And Minnesota didn't show them anything. They got skunked.
That worries me though, man. The last time we played a
No,
team that got
uh,
skunked, they came in. No, I mean, I don't. I'm not concerned. I do think we're going to handle our business because it's Minnesota and their quarterback situation is garbage. And I know you're having a rally out there. We'll talk about that later.
Hmm.
But I know the burgundy and gold are representing. A lot of people I know that did not go to Madrid are going to go out there and they're actually going to Minnesota and they're knocking that
Yeah.
off their list. I said, you guys are crazy to go to Minnesota in December. But
No, bro, it's not gonna be bad. And that's the
I mean,
beautiful
it's
thing.
an
It's
indoor
the indoor stadium.
stadium. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Now I
just,
gotta tell you, if it was Green Bay an outdoor stadium, I'd think twice, bro. Because I've already got it on my bucket list. I've got it, it's gone. But woo, it's gonna be chilly.
nah, it's going to be a fun time, man. And it's just, if people are saying, why aren't you canceling the Christmas tailgate? No one's going to be out there. Like, and I get it, man.
Are
I'm
you are
actually
you
not.
kidding me? No, people are gonna be there.
I'm not going to Christmas with the family this year because we play on Christmas Day. And Mrs. Tailgate is flying down to Florida to go see the in-laws, my in-laws, her family down there. And I looked into going, and unless I leave on Christmas Day, the flights are almost triple what they would be on
Mm,
Christmas Day. So I'm not going this year. So I got the tailgate. I have to, right? It's what I do. I'm not changing my name yet. Still Tailgate Ted. But some people are saying just cancel it, right? And this was before the game last night. This was at the tailgate saying, man, which no one's going to be here. The guys showed me that they're going to show up and play and perform. So I want to be there to watch it. I want to be there to see it, right? I'm not just going to sit at home, even though I got season tickets, and sit on my couch in the warmth or be down in Florida in the warmth, right? I'm going to make sure my ass is there. And these last two games, I'm with you, man. I want more football. I feel like we got just gypped out of this season. And it's so frustrating because this season had so much promise, but I am seeing stuff to look forward to for next year.
definitely, definitely. And you got to keep your eye on the prize, man. Fans, don't give up on us. Keep your eye on the prize. You know what we can be. So continue to keep your head up and realize that this happens to every every team, and we aren't any different. So
No,
keep
the
that
injuries
burgundy.
just killed us, man.
Yep, keep that burgundy and gold running through your veins.
Yeah, it's going to be another one next year, right? We're in this for the long haul. This ain't just a one and done type thing. And as long as we've got 5, we got 17, and DQ. I think it was Ben Standing asked him today during his press conference. I know this is kind of premature, but are you considering calling defensive plays next year? And he said there's a possibility, right? And it is obvious that when he's called these plays, the Miami game and this game, the defense is night and day different, right? And some
Yeah,
people are meant to be coordinators, some people are meant to be coaches, some people are meant to just be position coaches. And maybe that's just what Joe Witt's job is. But it's obvious that DQ has improved where this defense solely lacked. And this offense can keep us in games, right? We're also just missing a couple of horses to truly compete. But Denver, they've got some freaking studs and Hall of Famers on their team, and we stood toe to toe with them.
yeah.
Granted, they got the last punch, but we stood toe to toe with them. And before we bounce, were you happy with going for 2?
Yes, because I felt that our defense. I felt that it would have been a much bigger letdown to kick off, and then they run down and get into field goal position and kick a field goal and run off at the game. The right play was called. The guy just made a hell of a play. Maybe if Mariota could have figured a way to sidestep it, maybe I don't know. That's money winning quarterbacking, but it was a great call. The receiver was open. We could have walked off with a dub, but it didn't happen. But it just goes to show you that it could have happened. If that guy didn't jump up in the air and bat the ball, we'd be smiling right now.
Yeah, I am too, man. I'm happy we went for it because odds are they score or we ended a tie. And that does no one any good, right? And we're
Hmm.
not playing for anything. And there are people that are happy it happened that way because we got the 6th pick in the draft right now.
So
F all
far,
that. Screw all that. That part does
so
not
far,
matter
yeah.
to me. The guys, you play to win the game, right? And they gave it their all. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of what I saw. I'm happy with what I saw. And I know that they're not going to let that sour taste last long. And they're just going to bounce back this week against Minnesota.
Hmm. And I hope to be coming back home with Minnesota with a dub and victory steak, because it's been a long, long time since I've had one.
I kind of want to light a overtime cigar at this point because we go to overtime the past 2 weeks in a row. And I miss smoking my victory cigar, man. It's been way too long.
Yep, yep. Well, hey, I hear the music playing in the background. He's Tailgate Ted. I'm Rally Captain. That's going to do it for another edition of the Mess Hall, DMV Mess Hall. Remember, guys, even though we're going through this lull, keep your head up and you rep it hard. But you don't rep it at all. We'll see you in a couple more days against the Minnesota Vikings. Peace.